That is the hardest part of that ring.
For the hardest part of the ring. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the hardest part of the ring.
Hello and welcome to episode number 26 of Hardest Part of the Ring, the greatest podcast where four friends get together to discuss the wonder of professional wrestling. I'm Adam, and I, for one, would like to express my gratitude to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for allowing us to do this podcast. I'm joined once again by Sam.
Hello.
And by John.
Hello.
And by Brett.
Hello. I'm back to last.
Yes, you are. Where you belong.
Final entrant to the pod.
Before we get on to the greatest Royal Rumble, I should mention that for anyone that missed it, last week's podcast was our first ever Hardest Part of the Ring draft. We took turns to pick a fantasy roster of wrestlers from around the world. You guys still feeling good? Got any regrets about any of your picks?
I'm regretting that I didn't pick Session Moth.
Oh, yeah.
My indie women. Yeah, I think that would have been a wise pick.
I don't feel like I've watched enough of Session Moth's wrestling. Like, kind of everything around her wrestling is awesome, but I've only ever seen her in kind of big multi-person matches so far.
Yeah. I think she'd be a good solid 6, maybe a 7.
I agree. I don't think she's going to be, climbing up rankings and winning titles. I know she's got that unisex
She's got the
title,
crowd behind her.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a big fan. I think she's great. But yeah.
And she does a womb stone. I mean, just for that alone, that should be a perfect 10 across the board.
Yeah.
After the Jeff Hardy Jinder Mahal match, I am having big regrets over Jinder.
Oh, that botch. Oh, wonderful.
That is hilarious.
So many good botches in this pay-per-view. I mean, it's a questionable pay-per-view, this, if it's even a pay-per-view. I mean, definitely less a bad taste in the mouth, but some great botches.
The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia paid to view it.
Do you know what? I was going to watch this pay-per-view on Friday night. I went out for a few drinks after work, and on my way home, I was a bit self-righteous. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to.
Nice.
This is bad. This is evil.
Go, John,
evil,
go.
corrupt regime.
Yeah.
Persecute people. I'm not going to watch it. And the next day, I sobered up. And
You realised your contract is the hardest part of the ring.
I like drunk, righteous John.
yeah, God, I was so self-righteous.
Personally, I'm regretting not picking Nakamura at least early on because he went fairly late, didn't he?
Yeah.
And I just think, especially now he's got this entrance music, which we'll get to, new entrance music.
I feel like a lot of us have been burned by Nakamura from last year.
Yeah.
He still hasn't quite done it yet, even though he's got the heel thing. I still don't think he's put on a good match yet.
He's looking good, though.
No. Brett, any regrets? Oh, you just said you said Session Moth.
Yeah, I've said my regrets.
Brett definitely has more than one on his roster.
Yeah.
Oh,
I said something there.
I don't think so.
I think Brett's is the strongest roster, as usual, I think.
Strongest for second place.
One other thing I wanted to mention that I actually forgot last week is a little bit of admin, and I love admin. You might have noticed...
This podcast is based on admins. A lot of spreadsheets, a lot of Google Docs.
I put the ad in admin. You may have noticed, listeners, that the artwork for the last episode, and indeed this episode, has changed slightly in style. Brett hasn't lost it. We decided that as it was a brand new wrestling year, as we discussed on the last podcast, we would sort of start a new season, start afresh, give us a chance to freshen things up a little bit. So we're now in season 2.
Yeah, evolve,
Yay.
Get better. That's the aim, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, the Undertaker art for this episode is amazing. So
Yeah, that's really good.
We're into our American Badass era.
Oh, yeah, you should totally do an American Badass version. That would be good.
Yeah.
I mean, not good, but, it'd be funny.
Cool. Should we talk about the greatest Royal Rumble?
Yes, please.
The one from January. Hey,
Let's do it. Here we go.
Boom! Tyler Breeze, face first. That's a ring apron rhinoplasty.
So, the greatest Royal Rumble from the King Abdullah Sports City Stadium in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. The event is part of a 10-year strategic multi-platform partnership between WWE and the Saudi General Sports Authority. And this is essentially a promo for Jeddah, isn't it, in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
And it all sort of feels pretty awful and wrong.
It's got the taste of FIFA all over it.
It does, yeah. And that ended well.
Yeah. Obviously, this had a massively stacked card, so I was excited to watch it. No women.
No, not even Renee Young.
No.
I tuned into the kickoff for some reason.
There was a
And
kickoff.
I was like, yeah, there was a kickoff.
Who was on the kickoff
And
with 50 people in the bloody rumble?
There was Brian Saxton.
Wrestling.
Brian?
No, sorry, there was no wrestling
Oh,
in the
panel.
kickoff.
Okay.
No, there was just the panel.
Oh dear.
So
panel.
I didn't watch it for long. But I don't know why I was surprised there was no Renee. I thought it was different to the wrestlers, but no women at all.
Have you guys
allowed.
seen that Saudi Arabia had to issue an
Yeah.
apology because of a promo with Carmella in it? Basically, well, a bunch of WWE women, but it kind of resolved on Carmella dancing in front of the screen, drinking a water bottle.
Yeah.
They had to issue an apology.
I mean,
to the,
I must say, Carmella's new sort of swimsuit ring gear is, it doesn't leave much to the imagination. Must I say that? Maybe I shouldn't.
I just,
You don't,
Does it matter?
You don't need to.
Yeah.
I think we could all easily run down the political side of this and in every single possible way of how it's horribly sexist and wrong. But I think kind of maybe
that's not for us.
everyone already knows this. You know what? I don't think wrestling fans are the most educated on this side of things anyway. I don't think I am. I don't know shit about stuff.
Yeah, we'll save
So-
that for our spin-off pod, the Drunken Self-Righteousness.
Oh, drunken self-righteousness pod. Yes.
That's a solo pod with John only. Let's get into it then. Let's actually talk about the event itself. We started off with a really sort of I was going to say a bizarre matchup, but it's not, because obviously they have faced each other before. But obviously no build to this, just an exhibition match between two of the biggest stars of WWE of all time, Triple H and John Cena.
As if they were wrestling underwater.
It was a bit slow, wasn't it?
It was so slow. This had the slowest 5-knuckle shuffle I have ever seen. He really could not be bothered.
No, they both kind of looked their age, didn't they? I mean, Triple H still looks, he's just completely stacked and he's in great shape, but it was very, very slow and sluggish.
Yeah. My only real note from this was based on some of our WhatsApp chat for top 5 that we were talking about, is that Trips Nips might be worthy of our top 5.
Trips Nips.
Trips Nips is a new section of the podcast.
Yeah. Absolutely incredible. The crowd obviously loved it, though. I mean, two absolute megastars, and I thought the atmosphere was pretty cool.
This match was kind of for them, wasn't it? Sort of the neutral fans, two biggest stars, effectively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Cena mostly. I mean, he did get some boos, didn't he? And Cena sucks during the match, but when he first came out, the pop was pretty big, I thought.
I thought the crowd was incredibly weird.
It would
Oh,
be,
God,
though.
Yeah.
Across the entire event. Just very, very strange.
They mentioned how all the sort of the inner circle people all those seats were reserved for the royal family.
Yeah.
But there were so many guys, I don't guess, must be princes or whoever, who were just not paying any attention, just coming and going, standing up, having chats.
Okay, so I think those guys are actually like the police, kind of like for the royal family, like bodyguards and stuff.
Oh, do you think so?
Really?
That's what I think I read online, although I may have dreamt it. So
You would imagine.
take that one with a grain of salt.
At least we couldn't see long-haired man with shades because his spot was taken by a royal family.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. I wonder if he was there.
Yeah. He could have been, just, not in his camera side.
I did wonder that. There's all those hardcore fans who go to every pay-per-view. I wonder how many of them flew to Saudi Arabia for this. Probably a few of them. Yeah, anyway, so a clunky match.
It was bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't terrible. It was just.
It was terrible.
It wasn't great though.
It was one of the better matches of the night.
Oh
It
no!
was still terrible.
No. I mean, it was good to see them. Cena obviously won it with the AA at the end. Triple H, as always, the consummate professional. putting Cena over. And Cena's little speech was awkward.
he was putting over Saudi Arabia hard, wasn't he?
Oh God! The
they all
beginning
were.
of it, the whole kind of I know I've had a difficult week, and everyone's like, "Fucking hell, John!"
Yeah,
Leave,
I was never
leave
going to
your
miss
issues
this.
at home.
No, Vince was never going to allow you to miss this.
Actually obligated to do it.
Also, did John Cena look like his hair was maybe a bit darker, as if it had been dyed or something?
Looks longer.
He's on the rebound.
Definitely balding. Yeah.
Oh, do you reckon he's going to go mullet, like full on rebound mullet?
Oh, that would be.
I really want John
yeah.
Cena midlife crisis now.
Yeah.
I'd be a fan. I'd be a
Broken
fan.
John Cena.
Yeah, this could be it. This could be this heel turn.
Oh, this is it. This is it, guys. It started in Jeddah. So that's what we're looking forward to.
Yeah, let's move on. So from a huge match in terms of the names involved, we went to a Cruiserweight Championship match between Kalisto and Cedric Alexander. And I was excited for this one because of the talent, but it was a bit of a weird one for the crowd to go from Cena and Triple H. A bit of a tough act to follow, and I felt that they were fairly quiet for this one. But I actually really enjoyed it.
It was a good match. The bit where Kalisto got his head kicked off by a drop kick was amazing.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It was a good match, and there was definitely some great spots in it, but I'm just not feeling Kalisto or Cedric Alexander. So, like, the performance was good, but I just wasn't into it because of those two personalities.
I mean, I am actually kind of getting on board with Kalisto's masked faction. I think this could have some decent legs on it if they turn heel.
Yeah, maybe.
A trio of heel luchadore.
That would be cool.
Anyone?
That would work.
Then we have to watch 205 Live.
Well,
You're our 205 Live correspondent, aren't you, Sam?
Yeah, I've definitely been watching it.
Yeah, good.
Lots of small wrestlers wrestling.
Excellent. This was a good match. It was full of loads of great moves, I thought. Much faster, obviously. I mean, it didn't have to do much to be faster than the first match. But that seated springboard Spanish fly from Kalisto looked really cool.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
And I just thought they both sold really well. And
the finish was amazing as well, was it?
Solid match.
The soul into the lumbar check. Awesome.
Yes.
Like, amazing. Really good. I really like Cedric Alexander. I think he's good. I'm not a big fan of Kalisto.
No. But I thought, decent match. Even though the crowd didn't really seem that into it, but I can't really blame them, to be honest. Next up, we had a tag team match for the Raw Championship. Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt were in this, obviously, as a result of the tag team eliminator tournament that they had on Raw. And they were facing The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro. So, sorry, this was the Deleter of Worlds versus The Bar. The Bar, of course, now on SmackDown, so the result of this was never really in doubt, was it?
Nope.
I've just noticed that this match isn't in our running order.
Oh, really?
It's been deleted.
Oh, nice.
Oh, God. Did you type it in there and then delete it just so you could say that?
Hey, guys, we've got a
bet
lot of
you
matches
did.
to get through. This shouldn't be one of them.
No.
The main takeaway for me from this match was, and this might ruin Corey Graves for you now because I couldn't help but notice it every single other time, is how often he says, uh-oh. He just goes, uh-oh, all the time. I think even on one of our stings, which I will use after this section, he says, uh-oh. So,
Balor chin first into the hardest part of the ring. Uh-oh.
The commentary was really weird. I'm sure we'll get onto this a bit later.
I thought Saxon was awesome during this, actually.
The commentary got better as the evening went on because I think they really relaxed and they themselves thought, fuck it, let's just have fun. I think they
If the
got
wrestlers
to a point,
aren't going to care, we're not going to care.
I thought they got to a point where they're like, you know what, let's pretend this is a mufti day and just, do whatevs.
they're probably absolutely shattered as well.
Yeah.
Towards the end, they're probably just delirious. And the heat as well. I forgot to mention, of course, it was 82 degrees in the ring, so that's 27 degrees Celsius. So that is hot to be doing exercise. So what do you? Yeah, it was just stodgy, wasn't it? Awkward, mistime moves.
Didn't mind this match, actually. Quite enjoyed it. I'm not a big fan of Matt Hardy.
Were you still drunk, John?
This was next day, so
I'm not making no any,
comment, Brett.
accusations, but
I thought it was all right. I enjoyed it. It was obvious what was going to happen. I thought Matt Hardy was... I mean, he walks around the ring weird, like he's got no knees, but he sold... There's a bit where Cesaro like pulled him down onto the rope, and he sold it so well. Like his jaw had been broken off or something. I thought that was really good.
I'm warming to Matt Hardy a bit more.
Yeah. One thing with this, every time they mention that Bray Wyatt was a former WWE champion, I'm like, oh yeah. And it was only last year.
He's former tag team champ as well, isn't he? Didn't he? Who did he have it with? Randy Orton? Or am I going mad?
He had it with Randy Orton. And
Yeah.
I think kind of like the Wyatt family have held the tag team titles Freebird style before, I think. Maybe. I'm not sure about that one.
Don't know.
But I was going to talk about the bar and how I'm sort of starting to get a bit cold with them, to be honest.
They've been
bored of their shtick.
Booked really badly recently. Obviously, WrestleMania, now this.
They've been really thrown under the bus.
Yeah, they definitely
have. I think the split is probably not that far off.
I worry about them individually, though.
Who's got them in the draft?
Me, I think.
Oh dear.
But I was thinking at least, I might get decent points for them as individuals.
Yeah, Cesaro deserves some sort of push at some point, but who knows?
Yeah.
Next match was the United States Championship match. What a match. John, I was about to say John Hardy. Jeff Hardy, the champ, versus Jinder Mahal. Wasn't excited about this one at all, and I think I was right not to be.
Yes. Except for that botch. Come on.
The botch was funny.
The botch, the whisper in the wind.
Me.
It was the whisper in the wind with nobody home,
And then
until Jinder decided to throw himself on the floor.
Right.
about 6
And they
minutes
sort of
later.
pretended. They sort of pretended that it didn't happen, but then I think Corey realised that actually they can't pretend it didn't happen. And they sort of said it could be a ploy by Jinder or something.
Oh, yeah.
So, funnily enough, I saw
terrible.
a GIF just the day after of the exact same thing happening with the Great Khali and Jeff Hardy. So,
Oh, really?
yeah, learn from the best, Jinder.
Oh, right. Yeah, awful botch, but funny. That's the kind of thing that we live for on Hardest Part of the Ring.
Yeah,
we
and
get
nothing
to talk
else
about
funny
it.
happened on this pay-per-view.
Oh, no, nothing at all. Once again, I noted down that there was a seriously flat crowd.
Yeah.
Just lots of milling about and
So-
nobody interested.
In regards to the crowd, I actually have a feeling that it may have just been because more of the acoustics of how it was all laid out. Like the actual main crowd was so far removed from the royal family that I think kind of you probably weren't able to hear that atmosphere regardless of how good it was.
Yeah, it was also open stadium, wasn't it? So
Yeah.
Yeah,
atmosphere
but it
does
did...
tend to leave a bit.
There were moments, though, that we'll mention later, Randy Orton, for some obscene reason,
he
where
always
you
gets
could
involved.
hear the crowd go nuts.
Yeah. And they
So,
got into some
It's
of the
not like
matches
it
they did
never
get
happened.
into.
Yeah. Oh, to be fair, you can't blame him for not getting into Jeff Hardy versus Jinder Mahal.
No.
So, anyway,
Yeah, Matt Hardy won. He retained with the Swanton Bomb.
Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Hardy.
Oh, I actually wrote down Matt Hardy. So that shows
I mean,
how
Matt
much
Hardy
focus...
also won. It was a
Yeah.
good day for the Hardys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really wasn't focusing properly. Oh dear. Yeah. So after that, we had a short break. Well, quite a lengthy break actually, as they cut to an all-star panel, which was so bad.
Oh, but there was a couple of moments in this that I just loved. One, I was like, JR was not in the same conversation as the other guys on that panel. So much so, I've actually thought, right, that JR was just a robot and Adam was controlling him, because he just kept on interjecting, just saying, Braun Strowman's going to win this, Braun Strowman.
Yeah, I found myself agreeing with a lot of the JR was saying. But
It was so weird.
Yeah, JR, Jerry Lawler, and Booker T, they just are so out of it. The three of them, just totally bizarre people.
You bring 3 people from the old people's home and you wonder why they're geriatric.
Yeah, no, you're right. And then we had another big promotional video, basically an advert for Mohammed bin Salman and Saudi Arabia as a whole, talking about what a great place it is. But that's all to be
So
expected.
progressive.
Then we had a Jericho promo.
Oh, that was brilliant.
That was good.
It was brilliant, but wasn't it weird watching a promo with no crowd reaction? So obviously, I don't know, maybe the videos weren't getting played then. But usually you'd get a massive cheer when he walks on, then you get a massive cheer when he says stupid idiot, then you get a massive cheer when the list comes up. But it was just silence. So it's quite odd, like watching a comedy without the canned laughter.
That's
That
a good
was
description.
my favourite moment of the whole greatest Royal Rumble, though.
Oh, really?
Just Chris Jericho promo.
That was your highlight of this 5 hour pay-per-view.
Yeah, that was my highlight.
was a
Oh,
2-minute
man.
Chris
I was like,
Jericho.
yes, Chris Jericho.
The time you could have saved if you just watched
I
that.
mean, yeah. Just him saying Mojo Rawley was like enough.
Yeah. So moving on from those promos, we then went to the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match between the Usos and the champions, the Bludgeon Brothers. I don't think we'll talk about this much.
No, it
happened.
Yeah.
It happened. Felt like this one very much felt like a house show match, even though it was a title match. It's sort of the wrestlers were sort of just doing enough, but not going above and beyond to create anything special. It was just a match, really.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
poor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's move
WWE
on.
love the Bludgeon Brothers, though.
They do. They, of course, retained the championship. I think that was my least favourite match. So, yeah, let's definitely move on. And then we came to a match that I expect all four of us were pumped for, because it had four of our favourite wrestlers in a ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. The champ, Seth Rollins, versus Samoa Joe, versus The Miz, versus Finn Balor.
This was the best match of the night, I think.
Easily. This match was great. Brilliant.
This is on a par for me for one of the other matches later on. But yeah, really cool. I just wanted to note that, though, I know we all like Finn Balor, and I know, John, you really like Finn Balor.
Be careful here, Adam.
Don't you think his smile is creepy as fuck?
Really? It's affectionate. It's
I
lovely.
agree. I think he's got a real shit-eating grin.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Come on,
He
guys.
has. It
I
looks
like it, though.
forced. It looks forced and fake, and he looks like a waxwork of himself.
No. Come on.
Sorry, John.
Adorable.
Sorry to do it to you.
I agree with Adam.
My God,
But-
that makes a change. That doesn't happen often.
Yeah, that's the stars aligning.
Yeah.
This was the match. This was the match where someone finally worked out, oh, fuck, I can just climb up a ladder and just grab the belt rather than kind of
Yes.
bat around for it and try and kind of
Yeah.
slowly grab it. Seth
That-
Rollins was just like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that was a smooth, like, squirrel leap from the ropes as well, wasn't it?
Oh,
You know,
so
that was-
impressive, yeah.
Videos of the squirrels going for the nuts in gardens. Like, that was Seth Rollins winning that
What kind
match.
of videos are you watching? Watching squirrels going for nuts?
Well,
Is that how you relax?
yeah.
That's why you were late today.
Yeah. John was out on the lash on Friday night. Brett was just at home watching videos of squirrels going for nuts. This match, it was good, but there was a long period where it was basically someone climbs the ladder, someone pulls them down, repeat.
Yeah.
And I know that's ladder matches generally, but the
But,
big thing I felt they didn't have any of like the really big spots or big bumps.
No.
They didn't. I mean, to say that this match was great, I don't think this match was bad by any stretch, but considering like the ladder match we had in TakeOver just like a couple of weeks ago, whatnot, like it's nowhere close to that.
No.
No.
So
that's fair.
on an evening of pretty awful matches, it was up there as one of the better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never going to be bad with the talent involved.
No,
No.
and everyone really shone in this, I think.
Yeah.
Everyone had
Do
their
you-
great moments.
Yeah. Do you think like maybe it was a case of, because they were talking about their traveling schedule on Raw, do you think there was this massive fatigue jet lag issue with a lot of the wrestlers, and then you add in the heat
Yeah, maybe.
that
Maybe.
they all sort of were being a bit safe overall?
Yeah, I mean, the
Yeah.
touring schedule at the moment is brutal. It's not surprising.
I mean, we say a bit safe. You saw that cut on Finn Balor from the title when it hit him on the way down.
Well, his whole body was banged up. He looks in
was.
bad shape.
Yeah.
I thought that too afterwards. All of them, even Rollins, they all had welts all over them. And then I thought, because I thought, well, there weren't any really massive bumps, like I said. And I thought maybe the heat has something to do with that. If you're hot, perhaps like those kind of bruises and welts come up and are more prominent. I don't know.
I think it's probably just the fact if you involve a ladder, it doesn't matter if it's
Yeah.
a massive bump, it's still going to
Yeah.
bloody hurt.
Yeah.
But they all look battered.
They did.
But a
I
good
mean,
match.
Samoa Joe was involved, so that's probably why they were all battered.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So good to have Samoa Joe back, isn't it? He's so unique.
That sort of that double powerbomb into the suplex for the
Yeah.
turnbuckle was awesome.
I tell you what, actually, Balor and Rollins at the moment are having a whale of a time with this
Yeah, their
feud.
chemistry is off the charts.
Hmm.
It's so good.
Yeah. We're thinking maybe a Balor heel turn at some point, continue the
It's
feud.
got to.
I've been teasing it quite a lot recently, but
The thing is, both of them make such good heels and such good faces.
Yeah, they're both
it feels
brilliant.
like with Seth, he's finally embraced the face.
Yeah, I'm glad.
He's finally got round to it, I think. It's taken a while, but he's there, I think, now.
Balor on Raw was talking, like they had him, I guess they mic'd towards him a bit more because he was talking a bit of trash towards Rollins.
Yeah.
So it seems like, if he's going to do it, it might be happening.
Yeah, it looks as if they're just going to make the Intercontinental the primary title because, as we'll find out, the main one isn't going to be around much still. And then to have those two as the main guys going for that is just going to be brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. So yeah, definitely the best match so far. One of the best of the night. We then had a nice little video, I thought, showing the tryouts that they'd had in Jeddah. And then finding out some of the guys who'd made it through, and then they came to the ring, and I thought this was quite fun. I think could be easy to be cynical about this.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
So-
cynical about this.
Yeah.
Did anyone else, as a Brit, find it entertaining that the first two people were called Nasser and then the second person was called Hussein?
No.
No.
No,
Yeah.
just
no.
me.
Those are just names.
Yeah, but Nasser Hussein is quite a famous cricket. No.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Captain.
Cool.
Oh no, that passed
Um,
everyone but me by.
I don't like cricket.
You love it.
I like that song though.
Cool. Welcome to Hardest Part of the Ring, your number one place for cricket humour.
Oh my god.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah,
just need
Nasser
to-
Hussein.
Pull myself together. Yes. So Nasser was good, I thought, but mostly Mansoor. He is going to go far because they all did their little promos on the mic, and he really went for it. He's got the mic skills already.
I'll be honest, I skipped this bit.
Oh, John.
I watched for a little bit, thought it was a bit kind of distasteful and gross, and kind of just switched off a little bit.
Well, here's one thing I thought. Initially, I thought when they just read out their first names that they were doing the classic WWE thing, and those were then wrestling names, just the one name. But then it dawned on me that the guy probably wasn't too confident on saying their surnames correctly. Do you think it was probably that?
Point. Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, these four guys were there, and then the Davari brothers came out waving the Iranian flag, and massive crowd reaction to this. That's why I sort of thought it was a pretty cool segment, playing to the locals, the Davaris
See-
getting in their faces.
I think the thing is like most of the time when this happens, it's a little bit like, oh, you come to Britain and you talk about our royal family, and we're just like, oh no, that's so mean, blah blah blah, but we don't really care. Whereas this is a little bit like, oh, there's big genuine problems between Saudi
Yeah.
Arabia and Iran, and
Do you
maybe,
really want to be stoking those tensions?
yeah,
Nah, go for it, go for
not
it.
the fire, not the time, guys.
Yeah.
It just seemed like a kind of a tasteless move, in my opinion.
Okay, so there you go, both sides of the coin. I think it was nice. But I totally get what you're saying, totally. But anyway, let's move on.
Yeah.
Sam's my special guest on Self Righteous Podcast this week.
Woo! I've been drinking all night.
Perfect. I think I'm due to get on the Squirrels Nuts pod at some point. Brett, when am I going to join you for that?
Yeah.
It's a YouTube channel.
It's a video thing.
Yeah, can't
Yeah.
wait for the merch. Moving on then to the WWE Championship match. Shinsuke Nakamura facing the champion AJ Styles. I mentioned it earlier, but I think we need to spend at least 30-40 minutes talking about Nakamura's new music.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
So
was-
cool.
I'm going to stick with my
Psyched to see
Japanese
it.
Limp Bizkit
Yeah,
comparison.
there is.
It is.
There is, yeah.
It is.
Works
It's not-
though.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a bad thing.
There's never a bad thing with Limp Bizkit, let's be honest. We all love him. Like a
We
brother.
all love him.
Them? Him? We love Fred Durst of Limp Bizkit like a brother. Yeah?
Well,
All of
you
us.
really love them and used to play them in the office all the time. We enjoyed it.
No. I think that was
Yeah.
it's very much a group thing, wasn't it? We all
Yeah.
love Limp Bizkit.
No, I'm stepping away
Limp
from
Bizkit
that.
Thursdays, come on, classic.
No, I'm joking. This is awful. I'm throwing Sam under the bus again. I was going to let him sync with that Nasser Hussein comment, and then
That's
I was gonna,
fine.
Yeah, so sorry.
I'll be on
Sam.
self-righteous podcast later, fucking kicking your head in.
Slagging me off. So obviously, yeah. I just wanted to focus on this song, like I said, for 30 to 40 minutes. I think it's great the way that he's come out and said that he wanted to change it up so that the crowd couldn't sing along with it anymore.
Yeah. Did you hear? Apparently, there's a layer of white noise in the whole song, so that the crowd literally can't.
Oh right.
Oh,
No,
right,
I
that's
didn't.
Actually pick up the
interesting.
rhythm. Or at least that's what I read online somewhere by some random person. Therefore, it might be true. It might be bullshit.
I tried to look up the lyrics to get a translation of what they are actually in English, and I think all I could find was that the main chorus says something like, "Do you understand? It's my strength. I'm number one," and stuff. But I did find this really funny video that somebody's done with fake lyrics, which I urge people to go and check out. Which I think if you just Google Shinsuke Nakamura new song lyrics, it comes up first. But it's very funny. It's mostly about jabbing people in the nuts. And the fact that AJ can't have any more kids. So we'll probably link to that on our Twitter or something.
Sorry, Gallows and Anderson have it covered. They still have Big E's testicles
Oh God.
ready to replace.
God, yeah, that feels like years ago, doesn't it?
Yeah, that happened too.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Wrestling's crap, guys. I don't know why we watch it.
So what do we think? This was a strange one because, again, the crowd was kind of... It was weird. It sounded as if they were playing fake crowd noise, and then I've worked out that they must have been doing a Mexican wave or something similar.
Maybe.
And all the front rows were so distracted again. But I just thought this was really good, really good wrestling. Much better
I was
than the
really
rest-
enjoying this match. It was heating up really nicely, coming to a boil, and then it ended.
Yeah, I my interest peaked in this match as well. But
Yeah.
what a finish, eh?
That's
like-
a bad
I like the
finish, right?
finish.
I didn't like it.
I like the finish.
Yeah, it kind of continues the story, progresses things.
Yeah. They were never going to finish the story at the Greatest Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I'd
Exactly.
be pissed off if they did, to be frank.
It's one of those things where I understand it, but at the same time, it still leaves a bitter taste watching.
I didn't like the finish at all. I was kind of annoyed by it. It made this feel more and more like a house show, and I think it's because none of the titles changed hands, and it just felt like they weren't willing to commit to any kind of long-term story development of the wrestling from this.
There was no
see,
story development, I don't think, in this.
Well, I think this one did develop the story because the last few weeks Nakamura's been sort of attacking AJ, doing the low blows, trying to get the better of him. And in this match, the AJ finally snapped and turned on Nakamura and sort of attacked him. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It progresses that story nicely.
Yeah, I agree.
I would have rather he got, again, I guess, disqualified rather than just this count out kind of. I just thought it was a bit of a weird kind of ending, but I thought the match itself was good.
Yeah.
Definitely better than the WrestleMania match.
Yeah. Big improvement on that.
Yeah.
And I sort of saw the count out as, like John said, AJ had sort of snapped, and he knows that if it's a double count out that it doesn't matter. He's got the champion's advantage. He'll retain.
Yeah.
So he was just beating down on AJ outside, on Nakamura outside, and didn't care. And
Maybe it's because I was enjoying this match in this show,
Yes.
and then it ended like that, and I was like, damn it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt.
Yeah, I understand that. I felt a little bit like I wanted it to carry on.
Yeah.
But just loads of good back and forth in this match. Loads of blocks and reversals, and
Yeah.
These two are just great wrestlers.
great wrestlers. Yeah, and this was my favourite match, just over the ladder match.
Oh, interesting.
Even with that ending, just because they were just such good wrestlers, and they were actually showing that.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see how that feud carries on. But I think Nakamura is proving himself to the powers that be that he's capable.
Yeah, the heel turn's done wonders for him, really.
Yeah, King of Dong style.
I have to admit as well, when they first started turning him heel, I was a bit like, oh, come on, WWE, making the foreign guy the heel. But it works really well. I love it.
It does. It's brilliant. So following that, we had the casket match between Rusev, previous Hardest Part of the Ring champion, of course, and The Undertaker. Like the Undertaker promo vid, I thought, and nice to have a proper entrance with all the fire and smoke. Sam, would you have preferred an American Badass appearance here? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, why not? I'd like the Saudi Arabian badass to come out.
Oh, that could have been good.
I don't know who that would be, but I'm okay with that. This match was better than it had any right to be.
Yeah,
It was
Rusev worked his arse off in this. I thought.
okay. This
Yeah.
match, I thought.
Yeah. Did you see that bit early on where Taker nearly fell over throwing punches?
Yeah, he had to grab the rope, didn't he? They sort of cut
Yeah.
away quickly.
At that point, because that was early on, I was like, "Oh no, this is just going to be the worst one yet." But
Yeah,
it wasn't that.
I
bad.
actually wrote down Undertaker didn't look out of place, and then I crossed that out later on.
I really am into Aiden English at the moment. Kind of his managerial side of things and the shaved head, the look. He looks like a skinny Dr. Robotnik, and I'm really
Yeah, he
I'm
does,
okay with
doesn't he?
this.
He does.
It was good. He definitely played his part when it came to the distraction for when Rusev was
Yeah.
first in the casket.
Yeah.
And he paid for that with that tombstone.
Nasty.
yeah,
Oh,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
that's definitely a concussion.
yeah. I mean, the Undertaker did look old, and he was slow. But then it's 26 years since his first casket match, as they said, and he's had 16 of them since. So
Yeah.
he is
He's
old
like-
and he is slow.
Well, he is, but I was looking. He's 53. Like now, I guess in wrestling that's old because of how long he's been wrestling, but it's not that old these days for still partaking in that sort of sport.
I think it's because his size doesn't help because he's so big.
Yeah, his size, obviously, his knees and hips are an issue.
He looks
But I was
older,
just like,
doesn't he?
He
looks
does.
older.
He looks so much older than 53 years.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
he really does.
But he is dead. Let's not forget. So nobody's going to look great.
Yeah,
I just don't
he's
want to
undead.
see him wrestle anymore. I really don't.
No.
No,
Every
me
match he looks
too.
more and more like the wrestler, the film.
Oh God, yeah, that's so true. Well, I mean, obviously, John, the problem here is that this is the start, as we said, of a 10-year strategic multi-platform partnership. So
Oh my god.
the Undertaker's coming back every year.
It's the streak, undefeated at Greatest Royal Rumbles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so funny if they do that. So the match ended with a choke slam on Rusev, then Rusev put into the casket, then a choke slam on Aiden English. No, it wasn't, was it? It was the
The
choke slam,
tombstone.
then the tombstone.
I'll tell you what, I'll give Undertaker his dues. His chokeslam, better than Kane's, better than anyone else of his age.
Not saying much, but I thought this match was good enough, wasn't it? It wasn't a shambles.
Yeah, it was possible.
Oh,
Better than it had any right to be.
Yeah.
Passable, I think, is doing it a much better, more service than it deserves.
Really?
Yeah, bit worried about my Rusev though. Obviously, he's in Clash of Champions.
Yeah.
Champy John.
Champy John, sorry.
I don't know, I like the silent J.
Silent J. My God, it's such a hipster.
No. Come on,
Champions.
Champions.
So what's the process
I like
once you
it.
get buried in a casket? Like, is that it? Dead now?
That's a really good point.
I had a lot of fun just imagining Rusev and Aiden English like lying there in the dark in that casket whilst
They wheel
Undertaker
them
was doing
back
his
out.
exit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It must have been so hot in there as well. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
what, 27 degrees? They're inside a casket. Rusev has just wrestled for 5 minutes. He's a quite big, hairy guy.
Yeah.
Aiden English has literally just been dropped
Yeah.
on his head.
They
and is
probably
now
were.
shoved into a tiny casket.
Yeah, they
Oh.
probably were dead by the time they got them out back.
I'd
And I
imagine.
opened it up and just thought, oh, closed it back.
Yeah. Oh God, we didn't put enough air holes in. We're gonna have to go to the pet shop and get another Rusev. Somebody who looks exactly like Rusev. Yeah. Anyway, so Undertaker walked out, and they had shitloads. And this is something that we haven't really touched on. They had shitloads of fireworks, didn't they?
Yeah.
Sorry, the
Yeah,
pyros.
that's where all the pyro's gone.
That's where
And-
the budget's gone.
And they
Hiding it.
they sort of did fireworks and pyro for various people, but like the Miz had
Yeah.
some, didn't he? The Miz had fireworks, but then the other guys didn't. It
Yeah.
was like
Yeah.
weird the way or who
No
they chose
stranger
to have them.
than Apollo Crews in the actual Rumble who had pyro, but no one
Yeah.
else did.
Apollo
Bobby
Crews had
Lashley.
pyro?
Bobby Lashley had pyro
Oh, did he? Sorry.
or
Even still,
fireworks.
what's Apollo Crews doing with pyro?
Yeah.
He hasn't earned that. He's part of Titus Worldwide.
Yeah, I don't know why he got it if no one else.
You
did.
need something. So my final note that I've got on this page for the Rusev and Undertaker match, I haven't been able to work this in, and I probably shouldn't even say it, but my final note was Saudi, a rest in peace. Pretty funny, hey?
Nope, nope, nope.
That'll be check out hardestpartofthering.bigcartel.com for that on the next T-shirt. I'll be designing that one because I think Brett's going to refuse.
Point blank.
Next up was the cage match for the Universal Championship. Roman Reigns versus the champ Brock Lesnar. Speaking of pyro, Brock's entrance is much better, isn't it?
Yeah.
With pyro when he does his whole
much
down
better.
thing. Brock, of course, as Paul Heyman said, in his natural habitat in a cage.
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. I started this match off by doing the old tally chart for for the moves, but then Michael Cole bloody went and did it as well. He said that he'd been making a note.
Yeah, it was like suplex, 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 Superman punch, Superman punch, Superman punch, spear, spear, spear.
Yeah.
Every Brock Lesnar match has become a weird episode of Sesame Street where it's just like, how many suplexes can we count? And it's so fucking
One.
weird.
Ha 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 ha.
Yes.
The greatest Royal Rumble for the kingdom of Sesame Street.
This
There
was
were 4
bad.
suplexes. You weren't there. 4 suplexes, 2 F5s, 4 Superman punches, and 5 spears.
And that was it. There was no other moves. Actually, I think there was one
there was
power
a-
bomb,
no.
wasn't there?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
That
there
was
was one
it,
power
though.
bomb.
There was some Roman Reigns punching Brock's butt early on.
Was there?
I think he was like up on the cage trying to climb out, or he was on the corner, and he was just
yeah.
like, he wasn't hitting him anywhere but his ass.
Well, that's a good
was just
place
like-
to go. I mean, if someone was punching my arse as I was trying to climb a fence, I'd probably jump
I've
down.
not seen that before, really, but yeah, he was just punching his butt.
Was that the bit where Corey Groves like he's going for the hamstring? That's smart.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
It was like, that's not the hamstring.
That's
Always
Excellent work by
professional.
excellent work by Graves.
So Reigns, we had the classic Reigns climbing up and getting pulled down, as we said. Lesnar climbing up, getting pulled down. Then we had that weird sequence where Reigns was chucking Lesnar into the fence. And was it you, Brett, that's saying that Brock these days doing a bit of overselling, the way he was like chucking himself into the cage?
He does.
Then we had the other strange part of the of cage matches in general, with the door getting opened and Roman Reigns not even trying to go through it before Heyman slammed the door in his face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's such a weird thing in cage matches, isn't it? Like, if they just go towards the door,
yeah.
they'll
Please-
open it.
Please
It's
open
just
the
like,
door.
why don't they take that out? Because they never go for it.
Yeah, and let's be honest here. Who has ever wanted to watch a cage match where someone wins by going out of the door?
Yeah, they just walk out the door.
Oh, that's the shittest. Oh,
Maybe they need it for sort of health and safety regulations.
yeah.
Need a fire escape.
I want to see medics climbing over the cage to rescue
Yeah.
people.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's waiting for a Seth Rollins one day to be in a cage match and just think, I know the solution to this. Just walk straight out of the door.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say burn it down, which would have been better. Heyman then threw in a chair, and pretty stiff chair shots, I thought, from Roman to Brock.
Yeah, I think they meant those, didn't they?
Yeah, he definitely did. And then, of course, we had some more spears. And then finally, we had the spear through the cage, which, I mean, both of them took brutal bumps. I really enjoyed the slow-mo replays of that spot, just seeing their bodies contorting and vibrating. And Roman just headbutted the ground, basically. didn't
Yeah,
he?
he landed nasty, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good finish, actually. The rest of the
was.
match was bullshit, but the finish was good.
It was
Yeah.
though. When it happened, I was laughing, and I was like, "What have they done?" And then I was like, "They've got their their moment, their WWE moment.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all they needed. They just that one moment from that match, and they've got clips forever."
Yeah, well, even the build up to this match, like the promo video they showed beforehand, made their Mania match look amazing.
Yeah.
I very much had an aha moment where I was watching this and I was making notes, and one of them was like, "This cage looks quite flimsy. I think it's going to be, they obviously haven't taken out the expensive steel cage for this." And then obviously they go to the cage and there's this moment of, "Oh,
Yeah.
right, that all makes sense all of a sudden."
It's a cool way to do it, because obviously now Roman is feeling hard done by, because I mean technically his 2 feet did touch the rubber mat first.
I can't believe.
I think one of them was on the apron.
Well,
Certainly before
it
Brock,
depends
though.
what the actual rules are. Yeah, because Brock's legs were still on the fence, and then Roman rolled off it, and his feet did touch. I mean, they kept on cutting it a bit too soon, but
I mean, I can't believe the Saudi Arabian Gaming Commission aren't looking at tapes of this. I mean, it can't be. They can't let a decision like this be left to the officials there. They didn't get a clear view of it. Yeah. Someone needs to be reviewing the tapes and making the correct call.
I mean, it seems to me like the commentators really fucked up on this one anyway. It should have just been whoever escapes the cage first wins.
It should
Is
have
that not? Then no
probably.
question.
I just think this ending was such a bad move.
What else could they do though?
Well, I know, but
have Roman win.
The crowds booing Roman at like Raw on Monday was just the loudest I've heard it.
Yeah, I mean Roman's credibility has been
totally shot.
It's shot. Yeah. It's completely destroyed at this point.
But it would have been worse if they gave him the title here and he went back to Raw. Could you imagine the reaction he would have got from the crowd?
Well, isn't that what we were all expecting?
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe it might not have been that bad because, or even if they were that bad, he could go heel at that point. But this just seems like he's just been, another one thrown under the bus.
Yeah,
it's like they've ruined it.
They have. Yeah.
I don't think it's looking very good for Roman at all at this point. And the thing is that with Brock, I think we're all now expecting him to outdo that CM Punk title run. So we can expect him not to drop until SummerSlam. So it just, I don't know, kind of annoys me.
I think he's going to be at Money in the Bank. Apparently, I saw somewhere. It's the next pay-per-view that Brock's going to be appearing at.
Great. Can't wait for the suplexes and the F5s. Yeah, and we're moving on to Reigns versus Joe, which is this weekend at Backlash. And they showed a little promo for Backlash after this, and that card looks really strong. I think the fact that they've obviously got both Raw and SmackDown back together again helps, because there's no filler. It's all good matches. And
I was going to be pretty hyped for Reigns versus Joe.
Yeah,
I thought, I think it might be good, but because of how Roman's gone in this last bit, I'm it feels less of a big clash now. It feels more of just filler.
I don't know what the stakes are. That's the thing. Yeah. I don't really care that much about their match because there's no higher goal involved. There's no top dog kind of thing. They're missing a title at the moment. It's a big loss for their entire brand.
Yeah, it is. It's a real issue, I think, at the moment.
Definitely. Well, at least we've got the Intercontinental to focus on. So now the main event, the greatest Royal Rumble of all time. It's definitely the greatest Royal Rumble because that's what it's called.
It's the biggest.
It was the botchiest.
And we all love a Rumble match, right?
Yeah.
I did not love this one.
I just no matter what funny. No matter what, the fact that a new wrestler comes out every 90 seconds is exciting. I mean,
I thought that until 40 tag team members ran out.
Yeah, but then they'd never I think it was the New Day were the only ones that were out at the same time. Yeah. So at no other point with all those tag teams did they get a story of having an advantage in the Rumble, because they all were eliminated before the other one came.
It also felt like a lot of the tag teams, only one of them came in. Only Primo came in.
Primo, no Epico.
Yeah, one of the heavy machinery guys.
And I was going to pick Epico in the draft.
Yeah. I know. I had premonitions.
Shall we, instead of going through this in terms of who came out in what order and how they got eliminated, I did actually write that down in full. I've got every entrant, every elimination.
I've got a note for every single entrant.
Have you? Yeah. Should we just go through? I mean, there are a lot of random ones.
So have we been transported to an alternate universe where NXT is just NFL call-ups who we've never heard of?
Babatunde.
Yeah, who the fuck is that guy?
Who the fuck is Babatunde? Who the fuck is Dan Martha?
Oh, do you not remember Dan Martha?
I had seen Dan Mather in one NXT. I think they did a big promo.
Yeah,
for
they
him,
did.
Didn't they?
They built him up for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then he finally turned up, and Joe came out and just choked him out, and that was the last you ever saw of him.
That's right. That was when Samoa Joe was going through the roster, wasn't it?
It was brilliant. And honestly, the next time I've seen him has been this greatest Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Well, that's incredible.
So weird. So wasn't it from NXT? They had Dan Martha, Babatunde, and then Roderick Strong. Such a weird selection. Roddy, I thought was great.
I love Roderick Strong. Yeah.
Tucker Knight.
His backbreaker on Rey Mysterio looked amazing, especially because Rey Mysterio's so small and light, and he just flipped over after it.
that looked great.
And of course, Daniel Bryan. Well, I don't think we actually saw it properly, did we? But Daniel Bryan said it was Roderick Strong who gave him all those welts on his chest.
Yeah, they had a chop fest, but
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan had gone like indie. I think he'd gone a bit indie wrestling in this, didn't he? Because he was going stiff on everyone.
What a performance! I tell you what.
Yeah.
I don't think many people came out with credibility from this Rumble. I think Daniel Bryan was one of them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel?
Hard.
How do you feel about him beating the record? Because it kind of feels like it's not really the record.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, because it's not really.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel
a
canon,
Rumble.
does it? It feels
But I mean, at the same time, like kind of, they had a bunch of stuff a while ago when they had the 40-man Rumble that Alberto Del Rio won. So I think they kind of, it's WWE. They never play to their own fucking rules.
Yeah.
Brian was in there for 1 hour and 16 minutes, which, no matter what kind of event it is
He
impressive.
seemed to have a bit of an issue with Kofi Kingston, though, because I did notice in many moments throughout his long time in the match, he seemed to single out Kofi and then start fighting with him again. There was all those other people to fight with, but he just kept on going back to Kofi.
I mean, to be fair, Kofi is one of probably the most experienced people in that ring. So
Exactly. Yeah, good worker.
He was I'm safe there.
And any other random entrants? Did we talk about Tucker Knight?
that was weird.
Yeah, that was odd.
Very
That
weird.
was odd.
Gold Dust, he has no right being there at all.
Oh.
The sumo guy? Who the
Sorry,
fuck
Sam.
was the sumo guy?
yeah.
Hiroki Sumi. So I heard an amazing story about this. Have you guys heard
I
it?
think I might have
Dunno.
done.
What is it?
No.
Okay,
I
so
want to.
apparently Vince McMahon, when he was in talks with whoever the prince who was organising this, this prince apparently was very excited about having wrestlers such as The Undertaker, The Ultimate Warrior, and Yokozuna there, not kind of perhaps realising that it might be a bit harder to get Yokozuna and The Ultimate Warrior. And apparently Vinnie Mac came up with a solution.
We've got Mojo Rawley and
Which proved to be the worst moment as well, were him and Mark Henry.
oh god, Mark
That
Henry.
that was so cringe. He's not the strongest man anymore because he struggled picking up Primo.
Yeah, I mean,
I
that
think.
girdle he was wearing was ratcheted in tight, wasn't it? Mark Henry, that was. I think that girdle deserves a round of applause for the performance of the Rumble. It was very impressive.
I mean, hold on a second, because Titus O'Neil has finally gone worldwide.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what my favourite bit was, if it was Titus O'Neil tripping and falling or Corey Graves' reaction to it.
Oh, I know, that was
He
so
just
good.
couldn't hold it together, which is why I realised that actually that wasn't meant to happen, because initially I thought, did he do that on purpose?
Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
It was, for me, that was something that was genuinely funny, that was then made awkward from how much Michael Cole, for me, was laughing at it and just kind of...
And they kept on replaying it throughout the rest of the
loved
Rumble.
every replay. I was cracking up at every replay. It was amazing.
It was
It's
hilarious.
pretty funny.
I wanted to see it.
He went so far in there as well. He went flying under that ring. Only his feet were left outside.
I'm surprised he didn't headbutt Hornswoggle.
That's why I thought that maybe he'd done it on purpose, because it was so perfect. He disappeared under the ring. He could have
Thank
been
God they
really
hadn't been
bad.
using the LED board there.
Well, I also thought, thank God it was. This was after the ladder match, because before
God,
that, those ladders would have been under there, and he could have just headbutted one and then, not got up again, which may not have been the worst thing.
I mean, it's the best thing Titus O'Neil has ever done in wrestling.
It is.
Do you know what the worst part is? Everyone is saying that. It's the whole world is all in agreement. It's we've been waiting on Titus for a while, and he's finally paid off.
Yeah.
It was, unfortunately, they're starting to play off the joke.
They're very
on Raw.
self-aware, aren't they, of that?
But what can they do? I mean, if they try and sweep it under the carpet, then
I
everyone's
dunno.
going to be like, "Oh, you losers." I think
sometimes
they can't win either way.
No, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I guess with the people, it just it's oh no, this is going to go on and on.
I was going to say, I don't think they should be building on this. I think it was a funny moment, and that's what it should be.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll stick to that.
There were a couple of good botches in this Rumble, though. Primo nearly eliminated himself when he went through the ropes accidentally.
Now, who was it of the Revival?
Primo did eliminate himself, didn't he?
Oh,
no, it was the Revival. It was Scott Dawson, wasn't
Scott
it?
Dawson. He got slingshotted by Bobby Roode and just decided, do you know what, actually, fuck this, I'm out.
It was the worst slingshot, but he just totally like leaped over.
I mean,
It
to be
was brilliant.
fair, a slingshot into the corner is quite an ambitious slingshot. Like,
Yeah.
There was also Bobby Lashley on Cass, like going up for the suplex twice and then
I
failing,
know.
and then just
Couldn't do it.
dropping him on his
and
head.
then what was it? They're trying to salvage that. It was
Claim-
like, it's a brain buster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It fucking was a brain buster.
No, he nearly killed him. He dropped someone on a side slam or a backbreaker as well, didn't he?
Yeah, Lashley
like, couldn't
looks
get hold of
really
someone.
rusty in this, actually.
What was going on with Elias and Michael Cole?
I know. Michael
What
Cole
the
is like,
fuck?
are they dating? Is
Like,
that
did
it?
you hear at one point Elias was nearly eliminated, and you could hear him on the mic shouting, "Cole, Cole, save me!" Like,
That's quite fun.
it was fun, but what the fuck is going on there?
Michael
it's
Cole
strange.
went crazy when Elias came
It
out.
was really weird.
It was. This is why I think they were having fun at that point.
Yeah, I mean, God, you think that Michael Cole got him in the draft the way he was reacting? Elias had a good rumble though. Got some great eliminations.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really did.
Rey Mysterio looked great as well.
Yeah.
That sequence when Rey Mysterio came in, I think,
Yeah.
was just awesome.
There's also a bit where Fandango threw Rey Mysterio onto Chad Gable, and Chad Gable caught him.
Yeah.
That was really sweet.
And then it
Yeah.
went into a DDT.
Yeah.
Didn't it? That was.
There was like
So
about 2 minutes I saw of Daniel Bryan wrestling Chad Gable, and in my heart I was just like, "This is meant to be.
Yeah, God, those
Yeah.
two
Make it happen,
tear
guys."
it up.
Yeah, definitely.
Ah.
Also, when Shane got thrown through the table, that was
Oh,
so good.
That was pretty fucking
That
awesome.
was that's one of the best table spots I think I've seen. It was incredible.
The ending of this match actually was really good. Really good.
Yeah, because obviously the last sort of quarter, they started bringing out the big names. Obviously, we had
Yeah.
Braun. Braun came out and eliminated like 4 or 5 people, and then another 3 a bit later on. And then you had the likes of Kevin Owens, Shane McMahon, and then obviously Jericho.
Kevin Owens is like, you don't realise how great he is until you realise he's in the ring with like Daniel Bryan, who he has a rivalry with, Shane McMahon, who he has a rivalry with,
Yeah.
Chris Jericho, who he has a rivalry with.
And
you're
they're
just
all
like,
great rivalries
yeah,
as well.
this man knows how to be a bad guy really well, and it just
Totally.
paid off so good.
Yeah.
What about the Great Khali? Don't you think he looks like bad taxidermy?
He does. He really does.
That man, it looks like his knees have he doesn't have them at all. He's just like 2 stilts for legs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks so painful to walk, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There were quite a
I
few
was
people
worried
in this.
for him going over the top rope.
Yeah, there was quite a few. I was just going to say, yeah, there's quite a few people in this who I was worried about how they were going to get him out of there, like
Yeah.
Carly and Mark Henry, and that sumo guy.
Didn't Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler had to get Henry over the top in the end?
Yeah.
I can't remember how Khali got knocked out. I've got here we go. Strowman and Lashley. So yeah, you had to double team those big guys.
The audience, they went mental for Randy Orton.
Yes, they did.
What
Audiences always
wrestling
do.
have they been watching? It's
I know.
Randy Orton. What the fuck?
It's weird because they seemed up on some of the more recent stuff, and like Elias, singing the Walk with Elias bit and stuff. So I was like, so they must be watching current WWE.
Yeah.
Because some of their reactions were like they're still like 10 years behind.
Yeah.
Just weird. Really weird.
Very strange. But yeah, so some really odd additions to this 50 man. I thought there were going to be some decent NXT picks, perhaps, or just some better.
None of the
better
Brits.
people. No,
I was hoping to see. I thought before this started, I was like, oh, you know what? We might see, a Pete Dunne or someone. So this might be good. But no.
I mean, I think this Rumble was very much, it had 50 people in it. It was very much the B team kind of Rumble. It had
Yeah,
like
kind
a
of
few
thrown
stars. But...
it
yeah.
was the contracts.
Even Jericho just came out for a few minutes at the end, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't do an awful lot. So at the end we had Strowman eliminating Lashley, then eliminating Jericho, then eliminating Owens. Big Cass getting rid of Daniel Bryan to leave.
I liked that a lot, by the way.
What, Cass getting rid of Bryan
Yeah.
to build up
Yeah.
for
I
their next
I am
match?
kind of coming round to Big Cass at the moment.
Oh no!
Big Cass's promo.
No.
I am.
His promo last week was incredible, I thought.
I think he put on a really good performance at the end of this Rumble, and I think kind of his promo last week was good. I'm I'm enjoying Big Cass. I'm not going to be ashamed to admit it, John.
No.
Fight me.
God, I'm not into Big Cass, especially his tan. What is going on with that?
And he's very much on nipple watch as well, guys. That's just...
He's right.
Is it?
He's right at the
Okay.
bottom of the list of nipple watch, surely.
Yeah, he's just
He's
got
on there.
run of the mill standard 7 foot tall nipple. Anyway,
Cool.
so yeah, the final two was Big Cass and Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman got Cass over on the ropes and then bouncing him up and down loads before pushing him out, and Strowman won. And something awful happened, which I didn't have the unbridled joy I usually get when I watch my man Braun winning. My immediate thought was about how Sam has him in the draft.
Yeah.
I'm gutted.
Over the moon. I spotted that he was going to win big this year and thought that is a man who needs to be on SummerSlam, not some pokey backwater roster.
Let's hope his big win this year wasn't just the greatest Royal Rumble, because I don't know
Yeah.
if that counts as a big win.
No.
Yeah, fair
So
point.
Strowman won, and then the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia and Vince McMahon came out, and they sort of thought about maybe him lifting the trophy, and then decided
Yeah.
against it. And then he was given the Greatest Royal Rumble belt, which is very weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like a
absolutely.
palette swap of the cruiserweight belt.
Yeah,
Never to be seen again.
Yeah. I actually turned off before all this. As soon as Strowman won, I was like, I'm done.
no, Strowman got a green belt, and yeah, Brett, you say never to be seen again, but like I said, they've got a 10-year deal. I could honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a Greatest Royal Rumble every year. And that belt-
I'd love to
Oh,
see
don't.
that last one on that year 10. Who's in that? Like, how half-assed is that
Nicholas.
promotion going to be?
Yeah.
Nicholas will be in there.
Just a very slow match between Jericho and Kevin Owens at the beginning.
Yeah, Undertaker still be knocking around.
Now, surely next we've got the greatest SummerSlam and then the greatest Survivor Series.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you think they'll go that? And then the greatest balls of fire.
Okay, yeah, now I'm on board.
That's your nickname, though, isn't it, Brett?
Yeah. So that's it. They had about 20 minutes of fireworks, and then it ended. And
another advert for Saudi Arabia, and
Yeah.
then it ended.
of course. So in summary, then, what do we think? Sort of a star-studded house show that never sort of really reached the heights.
Yeah, it was an
could
exhibition
have with
match,
the
wasn't
talent.
it, really?
Yeah,
I've had more fun talking about it than watching it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd agree.
I'll be
with
honest,
that.
I was really hating it up until the ladder match. Really hating it.
Yeah, I was just mostly bored, but I did find the Rumble itself entertaining, mainly because of the botches.
Yeah. That Titus O'Neil botch will stay with me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, it was worth it for that. For
He's
sure.
going to be dining on that for years.
Yeah.
Amazing. Saudi, rest in peace.
Stop it.
That was good. That was good. I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, better.
Yes.
Oh, face first into the apron of the ring. There's very little padding there. A dangerous area. It's not wrestler friendly, I can tell you.
So, on to listener comments. We asked our listeners what they thought, and we didn't get many responses this time, I guess, because a lot of people didn't really bother watching it, or are still asleep or passed out from watching it. John, who did get in touch?
Cole Luckhurst got in touch. 5 hours was a long time, and 50-man match was full of filler wrestlers. Didn't even know Primo and Epico was still on the roster. No, I completely forgot about they were still there.
Yeah.
Enjoyed some of the title matches, but too many botches. Also, too many of the princes wandering around, leading to camera cuts everywhere. It was quite distracted having lots of people walking around.
That
Yeah,
crowd.
yeah.
That
Very
crowd was like
distracting.
a Street Fighter background. It was so
It
weird.
was, yeah, it was very much like a Street Fighter.
Yeah. Nice.
Heel Nick Payne also got in touch. He said, house show with fireworks, but I enjoyed it for what it was. Hashtag justice for Roman. His feet hit the floor first. Shame
Yeah.
the cage wasn't used at Mania. Oh, I've ordered a hardest part of the ring t-shirt. Boom.
Yes, Heel Nick Payne.
Where can we get these t-shirts?
Oh, that's funny you should ask, Sam. You can get a hardest part of the ring t-shirt from hardestpartofthering.bigcartel.com.
Amazing. And thank you to those people who have already bought T-shirts and the sticker pack as well. That
The
is
army
also-
of hardest part of the ring is growing.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, we're all moments away from handing in our notices at our jobs and doing this full time, daily podcasts.
Yeah, and we're going to go into a feud with the Bullet Club, so
Yeah,
keep an eye on that.
well up for it. Brett, how do people get in touch?
Right, so you can email us at hardestpartofthering@gmail.com, or you can catch us on social media, being Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, and we are at Hardest Part Pod.
Excellent. Our next podcast will be next week, of course, when we'll be talking about Backlash, which should be
We're giving our backlash.
Yes.
Ooh, nice. On
very
brand.
nice. Definitely should be an improvement on this. And also just to say that we're going to be at Riptide on Friday, so we might see some of you there. Until then, thank you very much for listening. Please do review, subscribe, all that good stuff. It really would be cool if anybody...
Recommend us to the Saudi princes.
Yeah, we really want to get in there and maybe get some sort of
10-year deal.
Live pod at the King Abdullah Stadium or whatever it is. One day we can dream. But until then, it is goodbye from me, goodbye from Sam.
Saudi arrivederci. That didn't work.
Oh, that's all right.
Quite good.
Okay, cool. We're gonna
Don't
wind
know
up.
how I'm going to follow that up.
Goodbye from John.
Goodbye.
Oh,
That's all I had.
nice. And goodbye from Brett.
Bye.
That was the hardest part of the ring. Sadia, rest in peace.
Oh my God.
That is the hardest part of that ring.
For the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring.
Sadia, rest in peace.
Uh-oh.